And at one of the regional conferences that I attended, they heard that I had come into contact with dangerous people. The dangerous people, of course, were the deer Wootons of St. Cloud, Florida, I guess in Boccia, and I had now got involved with dangerous people. Did anybody ever tell you Moshe was one of those dangerous people? I'm very sensitive, don't tell me. One of those dangerous people to avoid?
Yes.
But here's an amazing thing. As soon as I rejected the ordination of Messianic Judaism and adopted the two-house truth, and I knew I had found full calling, not just to evangelize Jews, which was my first calling, but my full calling. From that day, I took the courage to tell them to go to Gehenna. I am not changing my calling for your steering committee.
Amen.
I am not going back to Hashem so that I can get ordained and get your paper. And I don't know how, because it was supernatural courage. But when I exhibited that courage, capital came.
Amen.
That's when Yahweh released me from my job. So the principle is capital. And we all need capital to operate. Follows courage.
Yes.
To stand on Yahweh's word and do what He's put in your heart.
Amen.
How always follows what? Once you determine what needs to be done, the how will get done. Leaders don't let the how intimidate them. They are led by the what. They don't let the how intimidate them. How, who cares? It's not my problem, it's Yahweh's problem. I know what needs to get done, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to step out, and if the people, if I'm called to lead, they'll follow. So a leader is concerned with what needs to be done, not how it gets done. I can care less how this conference gets done, as long as it gets done. So a leader is preoccupied with what needs to be done, rather than how. How is up to Yahweh. Let him send, he wants to send ravens to vacuum the carpet, to get the shul ready, that's fine. Vacuuming ravens. A leader is not afraid to say no. Especially you home fellowship ladies. All right? They're in my home. They can come back and throw a brick through my window if I say no. Can my child use your swing and do loop-de-loops in the kitchen? No. Can my kids go upstairs and use the upper bathroom for a Bible study room? No. No? No. Was it the N or the O that you're struggling with?
No.
No, when you're able to say no, it's a sign of great leadership. Now, there are diplomatic ways of saying no. Well, and one of them is the Christianese, and we kind of learned it from the Sunday system. We'll pray about it. Yeah, sure you will. Sure you will. Can I do this? Can I do it? Let me pray about it. Yeah, right. Sometimes we actually do pray about it. Most of the time, we just it's an easy way of saying no. Let's be honest, just particularly your spiritual Dr. Ruth, all right? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. The courage to say no. Say no. Put it in your vocabulary. You're going to need it quite a bit over the next few years. Leadership, good leadership, does not allow themselves to get sidetracked. We touched on this before. Don't get sidetracked. Be consumed with the what of the calling, not the how of the calling. Okay? Choose your opportunities carefully. Don't say yes to everything. Pray, seek Yahweh, and then let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. A lot to cover. I might just put out a teaching on this. Courage to dream. Well, that sounds a little bit like Robert Schuller, but there's some validity there. Courage to dream big dreams and big visions. There's something to be there. Okay, I'm going to just throw a couple more things and I'll take a few questions. Uncertainty is a part of leadership that's permanent. You can never remove uncertainty from leadership. Never. That's why you cannot wait for the right time. Now is the right time to take the necessary steps to bring the house and the leadership and the group group and the congregation in order. Now's the time. You cannot remove uncertainty. What happens if things don't go right? What happens if they don't participate? Uncertainty is not, if you're uncertain about what you're supposed to do, that doesn't mean you're not a leader. Does that make sense?
Amen.
If you're uncertain, it does not mean you're not a good leader.
Yes.
Uncertainty is the area where leadership is defined. That's good. I like that. It is the area when the leadership comes. In the face of uncertainty, that's when leaders are determined. Who is and who is not a leader. In the face of uncertainty. Uncertainty is the doorway to successful leadership. None of us are certain of tomorrow. How can we be certain of how our ministry is going to turn out? Amen. Uncertainty creates the necessary condition for leadership. You know, if everything was certain, everybody would be a leader. You're certain, I'm certain, everybody's certain, everybody would be a leader. But the leader moves toward the what in the face of uncertainty. Not only in the face of uncertainty, in the face of knowing how things are going to turn out. And saying, P.S., follow me. I had an old pastor friend tell me, at one time when I was a nice Pastor Marshall boy. He says, if you think you're a leader, and you turn behind to see who's following you, and there's no one following you, you're just taking a walk. We need at least one person to follow you to be a leader. Trust me, at least one.
See, Marlene?
A good leader does not know what to do all the time, does not know what to do in every situation, never knows exactly what to do, but moves with conviction, moves with fortitude and courage, despite lacking absolute certainty. Now, get this. Uncertainty will always be part of leadership. Always. How will they react if I do too much Torah? You don't know. How will they react if I walk in with my foreskin one day and show everybody I've been circumcised after 80 years? That shouldn't be the question. The question is, what am I? I am a child of Israel. I'll cut this baby off. And then the uncertainty, let Yahweh take care of the uncertainty.
Yes.
I remember coming out of the Sunday system. I was so spiritual, I was broke. All right? I was one of these folks that didn't want to shove a basket under anybody's nose. I know it's hard to imagine now that we shove 10 baskets under people. But in those days, and you better learn how to shove a basket in people's nose, I'll tell you that right now. In those days, I put a little coffee can in the corner. And I read about William Seymour of the Azusa Street Revival in L.A., and I thought I was very spiritual and very sensitive to people's capital needs. So I put a little coffee can, it was Maxwell House, and I redecorated it with some paper mache, and I made it all nice. And I wrote, settle with gold. Settle with gold. You don't have to tie. You don't tie. Just settle with gold. Yahweh's my witness, and strike me dead if I'm lying or exaggerating the truth. I was broke. My people were broke. Maybe one person in the entire assembly was employed. And you know what? It was my fault. Because I wasn't calling him the time.
Amen.
Listen, leader, if you have a little coffee can in the corner with a little basket, unless Yahweh specifically told you otherwise, to disregard what I'm saying, you better learn how to shove the basket can with people's nose. People want to know why we offer materials, tapes, books, this. Can we be honest? We're among leaders. Could we be honest? People are not tuned into the Ruach HaKodesh enough for them to wait on the Ruach HaKodesh and say, send Rabbi Rob 1,000. Send Brother Frank 500. They either are not in or they're not willing to be tuned in. So we've got to use these materials to bless them so we can get them to respond. That's part of things in ministry. People need to be prodded into good work. That's leadership. So now we don't have a coffee can. We just, and especially in a home, you feel weird putting a pushki under somebody's nose, right? Sitting in a home. Well, it's not a home or not a home. It's you want them employed or unemployed. You want them blessed or under financial curse. It's very simple. it is imperative we learn how to thrive in uncertainty. There's so much more. I'm going to throw a couple things at you from my head, not in the book. By the way, I don't want to plagiarize. The Next Generation Leader by Andy Stanley. Okay? I would recommend it to everyone. I don't want to plagiarize anybody's work. The Next Generation Leader by Andy Stanley. Okay? From my head, a couple things. Basic things. And you'll be thankful that you waited a few more minutes. I know you want to eat, so do I. But you'll be thankful. Put demands on the people Yahweh has given you to work with. In other words, Yahweh forbid you lose a loved one. You expect me to be there. I'm the rabbi. I have to do the funeral, do the wedding. That's a good event. Do hospital, do this, do that. That's expected of me, is it not? Wouldn't I be lax in my duty if I wasn't there when you lost a loved one? Or there was an emergency, wouldn't I be lax? If I didn't care about it or send an elder to take care about it if I couldn't, wouldn't I be lax? So in other words, they have an expectation of you as a leader, don't they? But do you have expectations of that? Are you just so happy somebody shows up that you're not going to put any burden on that? You and your wife don't live that way. In other words, your wife has certain expectations, and husband, you have certain expectations. In other words, it's a two-way street. Loyalty flows both ways. Loyalty doesn't, and one of the keys to successful leadership is you've got to, listen carefully, you've got to give people things, hoops, to jump through. This way you know who you can rely on, who you can't. Do that. It doesn't get done, you can't rely on that person, you're going to have to find somebody else. You're giving them things, you're working your way out of the job, but not only that, you're giving them hoops, hula hoops. Remember those hula hoops? To jump through to see who you can and cannot rely on. And so if you expect me to show up on Shabbat, prayed up with a message, do the funeral, visit the sick, visit those who need salvation, make house calls, do this, do that, okay, fair enough. Now here are my expectations of you. I want you to be on time. I want you walking in here when you want to. I want you to tithe faithfully. I want you to be a servant. I want you to choose if we're right or wrong. I don't want you coming here on Shabbat and going to church on Sunday. I'd rather not have that situation because you're a bad witness to other people. We both can't be right. If the church is right, go there. See, I don't have that problem. A lot of rabbis have that problem. They have folks coming on Shabbat and going somewhere else on Yom Rishon. I wish it was Yom Rishon, but today it's Sunday. True? How do you stop that? Very simple. Be on time, tithe faithfully, serve the brethren, and choose. Once you know who's right, Yahweh's put you here, fine. The people that Yahweh sends to you to work with, when they try to leave, they won't be able to. They'll try and they'll come back, they won't be able to. The people that Yahweh has not given you, when they try to stay, they won't be able to. The people that are really given as part of my team, they can get angry at me, they can get PO'd, they can disagree with something I did. When they try to leave, they won't be able to. But when they try to stay, and not call, they'll still be leaving. Okay? Build, this is not an ego trip. This is not dictatorship. This is to build character and a team that you could rely on. Make demands of the people around you. How else are you going to know who you can rely on? You can go into a trench with someone and you don't even know if you can rely on them. And we are in a spiritual war. Questions? Good practical questions. Anyone? Hello?
Here's a remark.
Sure?
Leaders generate options and ideas. Managers just impose controls. Leaders generate options and ideas, and they also delegate opportunities.
There you go.
But managers just impose control. They might build a company, but they're not spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Right on. Beautiful. In a nutshell, that's beautiful. Maybe you're having problems in your congregation or getting your group going. Just take this time, okay? take this time, I'll sit here, I'm hungry too, I'll sit here, answer the questions. Take this time so you can maybe get some insight.
Just a remark. First, to give Yahweh all the glory. Sometimes leaders got to do something now. They do not reap the immediate benefits. And I see why right now. But it comes on down the road. Rabbi Moshe was led some years ago to St. Thomas, another acquaintance of mine. And we met. And I remember that night when he showed me that scripture in Isaiah about the jealousy between Ephraim and Judah. And I went home after speaking with him, and I was excited. I told my wife, you know, honey, I just found I might be an Israelite. You know? And a good sister of mine who's been a Messianic for a long time in the States, in Oklahoma, and she was the one that told me, because she got his email. She's the one that told me that he was coming. So I went there to the venue. She immediately called the phone, and she wanted to know what went on. And I told her, I was so excited, I was all fired up. And then she said, okay, so when do you want me to get the mohel? And I said, yeah. What? The mohel. What's a mohel? You have to be circumcised. Well, you know, I almost dropped the phone right there. You know? And that, you know, all of a sudden I realized, you know, I guess what I after all. Maybe I go in, you know, it's not that bad after all. And so I have bought just about every single book for Rabbi Moshe had gotten there, you know, I just put those books aside.
And the funny thing is, you missed the first meeting, and you just caught the second meeting.
Because I got the email late, you know.
And look how Yahweh touched just in 1 week.
And you know, and what happens is here, you know, all these years after, when I was, it's what the rabbi said, I had been the pastor for a year and a half, and I had not gotten one single convert. And that lack of progress was bothering me, so I went into a season of fasting and prayer, and asking Yahweh to show me, give me direction. And he started to show me that my worship was wrong, because my worship was still going in worship, was not, and that's how it started. And then I remember those books. Yeah, full of dirt, you know, stuff on some of the pages, but I found them, I started to read. And that seed that he planted then, he probably figured, I don't know if he figured, that you will have never seen something out of St. Thomas. I mean, good money, wasted good time, wasted game, you know, after so many years, well, nothing happened. But, you know, now that